Bye.
Alamak, aku tak lupa tag game. Apa lagi lah.
Game kena tag tau. Baru ada ni. View.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Adrenaline Impact Invitational V8 Supercars Challenge here in Lime Rock Park, USA, brought to you by C-Zone Premium Computer Retailers and Interformula Motorsports R&D Department. We are now here in Lime Rock Park, the track length of 2.5 kilometers, roughly, give or take. This is on the classic layout with the famous jump just before the final corner and the Samposi straight. We've got the big bend and all the classic hallmarks of this short and very fast racetrack. Now with me today, my name is Matthew Palmer. I'll be providing some commentary in English, and meanwhile in Bahasa Melayu we have Maisil Hafiz. Maisil.
Halo. Assalamualaikum semua. Selamat malam. Selamat more. So hari ini kita akan bersama-sama dengan pelumba-pelumba iRacing daripada Malaysia, akan berlumba di Lime Rock Park, Amerika, dengan kereta V8 Supercars. So Matt Palmer, cuaca hari ini sangat sangat baik. Dia cuma partly cloudy. Suhu 26 darjah Celsius. Agak sejuk kalau di Malaysia ni. 26 darjah Celsius ni memang melaju lah kita. So dengan track yang agak nampak mudah, tapi bukan semudah yang kita nampak. Hanya track sepanjang 2.35 km dengan catatan masa mereka average dalam 50 plus minus macam tu. So apa lagi info-info Mat?
So there was, as myself just alluded to, we have quite cool weather conditions, 26 degrees Celsius, fairly humid at 54. It's partly cloudy, a really nice day to have the race on. The engines will be putting out quite a lot of horsepower as they go through here. The track here has quite a lot of altitude change. You see 150 meters, give or take, of altitude change, the most dramatic of which will be at the jump. If you can see if the guys are really trying when you see the front wheels of the cars take off. That would be down at the no-name straight near the back. But it's an absolutely classic track. It looks a lot simpler than it drives. So from the outside you'll think to yourself, there's only 7 corners, but trust me, they are 7 of the most difficult corners in North America to drive around.
Okay. So apa yang kau cakap Mak? Memang laju. Aku pun tak sempat nak catch up apa yang kau cakap tadi sebenarnya, tapi aku cuba bawa faham. So kepada semua kawan-kawan yang tak faham bahasa Inggeris, boleh dengar apa yang Cik komen. Macam apa yang Mak cakap tu sebenarnya lebih kurangnya yang macam Cik cakap kan. So kita ada lebih kurang dalam 17 peserta malam ni, ataupun mungkin lebih. Mereka sekarang sedang berlatih, kira tengah praktis. Kita ada masa sejam sebenarnya. Kita orang dah mula start praktis tadi jam 10 malam dan akan berakhir jam 11 malam, lagi 12 minit. Oh okey, sekarang list terbaru dah 19 peserta sekarang ni. Kita tengok peserta-peserta ni dibarisi oleh pendahulu sesi praktis pada kali ni ialah Halabi, seterusnya Azri, Calvin Singh, Arifin, Nazli, Lubis, Elizam dan Marvanderjit Singh. Itu adalah kelompok 50 second dan diikuti dengan kelompok 51 saat. Kita ada Syahrir Kimi Apa nama Kimi yang sebenarnya?
Syamil Aizan nama dia. Macil. Hello, hello,
Syamil
hello.
Aizan. Lupa pula nama Rebel. Syamil Aizan, kita ada Azam, ada Jalid, Muhaimin, Yusof, Jafar, Hazim, dan juga di barisan 52 saat kita ada Abdullah, kita ada Syaril Noafuddin, kita ada Lenj, kita ada Jonas. Kita ada 19 racer pada malam ni akan berantap sondong menyondol di Lime Rock Park ni menggunakan kereta V8. Mari kita lihat, tak lama lagi dia akan habis sesi praktis dan dia akan meneruskan sesi qualifying bermula tepat jam 11 malam. Okay?
So there we have it. There's our entry list for this evening. We have right now the quickest of the drivers in the 50-second range, Halabi, followed by Azri and Kelvinder Singh, followed there in 4th position by Arifin, Nazli, Lubis, Elizam, and Jazrin Jali in 8th, with Melvin Dijit Singh in 9th position. So that's 9 cars in the 50-second bracket. These V8 Supercars do tend to follow each other quite closely indeed. In the 51-second bracket, we have Sharil Azam Muhaimin, Tarmizi Yusuf, Jafar Hazim, Abdullah, Norafuddin, Mark Lange, and Junos. So these cars, the Ford Falcon and Holden Commodores, each have production-derived V8 engines producing roughly in the region of 600 horsepower. Especially in this trim, as we're running it through the circuits here, they're very, very close to each other, even though they were built in different race shops by different teams, but they follow a very, very close specification. Even the wheelbase, the width, and the aerodynamics are all controlled. So these cars are as close as you can get to each other without being full-on NASCARs. But they do have quite a lot better handling through the corners than a NASCAR, and completely locked rear differentials, so 100% on and 100% off, so really challenging cars to drive.
Oh, maknanya dia memang 100% lock So senang gila untuk drift lah kita ni.
Ya.
So dapat dekat drifter memang dia takkan mengesot lah setiap masa benda ni
Ya.
Okay. Nice. Tengok tu pusing lagi. Masuk ke rumput. Pada muka.
Itu dia. Yeah. So in fact, one of the best drivers that we've had in V8 Supercars over the years is Shane van Gisberg, who is also the Australian drifting champion. So perhaps there is a proof to Michael's theory that drifters would really love this sort of cars. Yeah, completely spool rear end. The gearbox is also bolted to the end of the diff to even out the weight distribution, otherwise these cars would be very front heavy. And most of the bodywork you see on the outside there is made out of fiberglass and carbon fiber. This is not to make the cars lightweight, but rather to make it very easy to change panels between each race.
Okay, maknanya memang buat untuk melanggar kita ni So macam kita semua tahulah, V8 Supercars ni dia memang sengit tu punya saingan. Jarak beza antara kereta depan dengan belakang kurang daripada 1 saat. Dan kalau kita tengok timing sekarang ni pun, dia hanya dijarakkan dengan 0.01 dan ada juga jarak masa 0.01 pun ada juga. So memang rapat. So jangan lepaskan peluang untuk melihat bagaimana perlombaan ini berlangsung tak lama lagi. Dalam beberapa minit lagi kita dapat lihat rapat macam mana ini baru betul, bumper to bumper, door to door, spoiler to bumper semua kan. So nantikanlah aksi-aksi mereka. Kita tengok siapa yang ke dinding, siapa yang ke tebing, siapa yang ke rumput. Segmen tengok tu memang tak tegak kita ni.
So the competition is going to be very fierce, as you see Saiful Arifin there chasing the car in front of him. And as you can see, the car's actually lifting off at certain points around the track, so these cars don't have a lot of downforce, but at the same time, don't let the looks fool you. These cars are one of the first of the next-gen V8 Supercars, so they have a common chassis, common bodywork, with only the roof coming from the standard road car. But what is really very distinctive about racing in V8 Supercars is the fact that everyone can really run as close as they can to each other. almost even more so than in the MX-5 cars. They are designed to handle a little bit of touching and rubbing, which is standard for touring cars. And what we can definitely expect to see around this narrow and very, very high-speed Lime Rock Park is some absolutely exciting action coming right up ahead in about 6 minutes' time.
Yo, kita ada lebih kurang 6 minit lagi sebelum sesi latihan ini ditamatkan. Harap semuanya dah berlatih dengan cukup lah, sejam kan. Dalam mula pun sama je result dia. Benda ni bukan boleh dapat build up dalam masa sehari. So mari sama-sama kita nantikan waktu qualifying nanti siapa yang akan dapat pole position.
So as you can see, these guys are just having their final practice session. They will have an hour's worth of practice to try and get their race setup sorted out and their fastest qualifying time sorted out. These are definitely cars that you can't really learn how to drive around this high-speed loop. You can't really learn this sort of stuff in a day, so we'll see the guys who are really V8 aficionados come up to the front. And perhaps some of the newer guys will have a little bit more of a struggle to try and keep up with the front runners. But one thing's for sure, the field looks like it's going to be very, very tight indeed, as we see Shaiful Arifin trying very hard to stay right on the tail of Mahaimin. And that just goes to show you how close it can get. But these cars are designed for this sort of contact. We're going to be a little bit lenient, but although we do have the option of a full course yellow if we need it. So look out for that. And yeah, they will also need to, I believe, if they're not too careful, I believe they have to run a pit stop for fuel.
Ya, mereka perlu menjalankan satu pit stop untuk isi minyak. Dan jika berlaku kerosakan, mereka perlu masuk ke dalam pit. Ini bukannya macam game yang biasa kita tengok, kalau langgar boleh jalan lagi. Ini kalau langgar, dia akan ada kerosakan yang macam kerosakan yang sebenar. Kalau rim pecah ke bonet pecah, bumper pecah semua, kerosakan tu akan berlaku di kereta diorang. So mereka kena jaga sikap mereka untuk menjaga kereta mereka sehabis baik supaya dapat menghabiskan perlumbaan. Sebabnya perlumbaan bukanlah tamat di selekoh yang pertama.
Yeah, that's right there. The race does not finish at the end of the first corner. It only finishes at the end of the final lap. So keeping the nose of these cars clean will be absolutely critical, as Mysil just now alluded to. Mychil, sorry. As Mychil alluded to just now, these cars do sustain damage, and it is fairly realistic, so they can't go around hitting everyone as hard as they can. They do have to have a little bit of discipline, otherwise they will have to go into the pits to repair their vehicles. So there'll be as there's a bit of an accident up at the top of the hill there. So these guys do have to be a little bit careful when it comes to damage, such as the one taken by that Patronus Holden there. So they're going to have to be really careful in order to try and make sure that they get the cars to the end, because it's really on the final lap that you'll see, especially in these V8 Supercar races, it's all pack racing, so at the final lap, that's when all the action is going to go down. It's going to be a thrilling end to the race, we hope, and it'll be quite exciting stuff indeed. But now, as you can see, some of the damaged cars coming in for repairs. I believe we have quick repair turned on as we watch Halabi get onto the Sam Posey straight. That's the start-finish straight there. They'll head into the Big Bend. That's the first corner. And we see Zainul Hazim in the classic Castrol livery. I believe that is the Larry Perkins Castrol Ford livery. Really nice look through there. Kelvinder Singh in the all-red machine.
Menyala garam betul colour dia. So Mat, ada ke advantage dan disadvantage antara dua kereta ni yang kau tahu?
Any advantages are very, very minor between the two cars. It is believed that the Ford has better straight line speed in terms of aerodynamics, but the Holdens have a little bit more front end grip. but the differences are so minor. It's going to come down to the driver's performance throughout the race rather than any real differences between the two cars. The differences are really more from preparation of the race cars rather than differences in the base cars themselves.
Okay, right. So maknanya quite fair lah dia punya balance of performance dia kan. So
Yeah.
apa yang membezakan antara mereka ni adalah cara pemanduan. So perlombaan ni memang true dia punya apa driver lah. Kita tengok driver punya skill lah kan.
Yeah. And these cars are also designed to be very, very difficult to drive almost deliberately. It's all about driver skill and car control, even though they have the famous thunder spoilers on the back and those big exaggerated wings. They really don't help too much in keeping these cars from going in a straight line. It's the same reason why they run a locked rear differential, is to give the drivers a bit of a challenge. They also don't have paddle shifters. They have a sequential box and some really challenging suspension components in there as well. Double wishbones instead of McPherson struts. Really, really challenging car to drive. Now we have finished our practice session. We'll be coming into the pits as soon as these guys finish their final laps.
Okay, nice. Okay, macam yang kau cakap tadi Mat, dia bukan sequential. Dia bukan pedal shifter, dia sequential.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manual sequential.
So dia ada gear lah dekat belah kanan dia
Yeah. And not only gears, but anti-roll bar adjustment front and rear, as well as brake bias adjustment. So there's no less than 4 or 5 levers next to the driver.
Oh, memang bersilat driver nak adjust tu, adjust ni kan. So kita bermula sekarang 15 minit masa untuk mereka membuat masa catatan terpantas untuk menentukan grid position. So sekarang kita ada Mr. Lubis sedang keluar daripada track our lap sekarang ni.
So now we have Yudi Lewis coming out. He's the first car out onto the track. Big air over there through his warm-up lap for the qualifying session. These drivers only have 15 minutes to try and qualify the cars. Lewis there really pushing hard on his out lap, trying to get as much temperature in the tires as he can to get that nice wide long run onto the Sam Posey straight. Now the unique part about this lap is that for those going out onto an out lap, you basically have only 3 corners to dawdle around and try and warm up the tires before you get onto the no-name straight, the first of the 3 straights you see in the mini map there. And then once they're on that, it's all about trying to get as much speed as possible to get onto the start-finish straight, that famous Sam Posey straight, in order to start the lap.
Apa yang Mat cakap tu, kalau keluar je daripada outlap tu, hanya ada 3 corner je yang untuk kita panaskan layar. Lain tu hanyalah ada straight line. Yang kita perlu carry speed sebanyak mungkin untuk memulakan sesi penggerian masa tu di start finish line tu. So kita kena carry sebanyak-banyak speed yang boleh untuk kita mendapatkan masa yang terpantas. So sekarang Azam dan Yudi Lubis sedang masuk ke sesi attacking. So mereka akan membuat masa sekarang ni.
Yeah. So we see Ahmad Azam there pushing really hard to try and better his lap time. He knows how fast he has to go in order to qualify. That his first attempt is only a 57.9. It's a provisional pole, but he knows that's going to fall, so he's going to push as hard as he can to try and get a much faster time. So he's now gone into a 51.098. That is our first true qualifying pole attempt.
Okey, terima kasih kepada semua yang sedang menyaksikan live di Adrenaline Impact ataupun di Mighty Racing. Terima kasih banyak-banyak. Minta kepada anda semua supaya untuk share video ni supaya kawan lain boleh tengok. Dan juga kalau ada nak komen je, no problem. Kalau ada pertanyaan, kita boleh jawab pertanyaan tu. Apa yang kita tahu, walaupun Syil bukan tak pernah pun race V8 Supercars, tapi kat sini kita ada Matt Palmer. Matt Palmer ni seorang yang berpengalaman, yang berpengetahuan, yang suka membaca. Memang dia ni memang tahulah sejarah-sejarah perlombaan luar negara ni kan. So boleh tanya, jangan malu, jangan segan. Kalau kita tahu, kita boleh share. Dan kepada semua yang sedang tengok di skrin handphone ataupun komputer anda sekarang, ini adalah platform iRacing. Game ni hanya boleh dimainkan di simulator yang di PC saja, dengan subscription setahun dalam lebih kurang 200 ke 1 lebih kan tu. So anda boleh start career di iRacing. Dia di iRacing ni dia sangat unik sebab anda akan melalui satu proses untuk mendapatkan lesen. Kalau masuk kita buat rookie, anda perlu race, perlu practice beberapa tournament, perlu keep the good track record. Tak boleh nak jadi lembu sangat, langgar seorang sana sini. Kena sebabkan kalau anda memandu secara berbahaya, anda akan dikenakan penalty. Itu yang bestnya. Dia real macam real racing, yang kalau kita ada langgar ke, kita ada gaduh ke apa ke dekat track, dia akan steward akan panggil, lepas tu akan diberikan demerit di dalam lesen masing-masing. So itu yang uniknya iRacing ni. So malam ni kita dapat berpeluang dapat tengok rakan-rakan pelumba alam maya di Malaysia ni berlumba di dalam iRacing ni, dan dibawakan khas oleh Adrenaline Impact. Terima kasih kepada Adrenaline Impact, Season, kedai komputer, dan juga Inter Formula. Memang padu-padu semua ni. Dan tak lupa juga kepada penaja Chel yang menaja headset dengan seat Todak, daripada Todak, www.todak.com. So terima kasih ucapkan supaya anda enjoy. Kita ada lagi lebih kurang 9 minit lagi masa qualifying. Jom kita tengok aksi diorang pula bercakap je kan. So kita tengok aksi diorang ni mengambil selekoh. So Mat, macam mana Mat diorang tadi?
So it looks like Saiful Arifin is gone on to the top of the leaderboards right now with a 50.311 second time. That is very fast indeed from Saiful Arifin. We're now tracking with Jasri bin Junos, who is in one of the Adrenaline Impact liveried cars, the Pico Adrenaline Impact colour scheme, alongside I believe with Saiful Arifin. He's gone off the road a little bit there. That's not going to be good for his qualifying attempt. He might have to retry that one again. But right now we have the real aliens up there at the top of the leaderboard. Saiful Arifin is 2/10 quicker than Kelvinder Singh. Kelvinder will want to try and improve his time because SRE is right behind him, only 1/100th of a second behind. We now have 5 cars.
Top 5 ni semuanya alien nampak dia bukannya manusia biasa lah kalau kita tengok. Sebab kalau tengok tadi waktu practice, kita nampak Saiful Arifin ni dia simpan sebenarnya. Tadi dia buat 50 point berapa rasanya, tapi tiba-tiba waktu qualifying dia dapat paling laju sekarang. Tapi sesi ni belum berakhir lagi. Kita boleh tengok Kelvinder Singh mencucuk rapat. Dia sekarang dan masuk pit sekarang. Fender dah hilang, so tak apa. Kereta ni memang senang nak tukar fender. Sekejap lagi kita tengok dia keluar.
So there we saw Kelvinder Singh had a little bit of trouble with his car. He had a bit of damage to the bodywork, so he's going to pull in. He's going to have to take some time out to try and change.
Okay Mak, kita ada dekat skrin sekarang, kita ada real racer kita sekarang, Syamir Aizan Muhammad Hanafiah. Ini ada rival Michael ni kalau dekat kategori Super 500. So dia pun dah set up dia punya simulator pun dah siap. Dia belum menggunakan barang-barang yang agak high end juga. Seram tengok. Dan dia pun dah start main. So kita boleh tengok macam mana prestasi dia nanti di Lime Rock Park ni. Sama-sama kita nantikan. Dan juga kat situ ada juga lagi Michael punya rival seorang lagi, Syahrin Afuddin. So dalam ni kita ada gandingan antara racer sim racer dan juga kita ada real racer. Walaupun tengok siapa tu? Syahrin Afuddin. Terlanggar barrier. Apa dah jadi? Kau buat sama macam Gino kau kat sini ke? Okay,
So,
okay, okay.
anyways, as Maisel there has alluded, he's got two of his rivals in the race. Just a quick introduction. Not only do we have sim races vying for the win, but we also have real life races from the Malaysian Championship Series as well as the Malaysian Speed Festival, aka MSF. Meanwhile, in the commentary booth, Maisel is a Paka Super 1500 MSF driver with a lot of experience and quite a few wins under his belt. He's considered a bit of a K car expert and also doing some races now in the Hondas, the Honda Jazz, and a couple of races in the Civics. Meanwhile, myself, I've had a long and varied career in rally driving, rally co-driving, and race car engineering. So we hope to be able to explain to you what everything is going on down here at Lime Rock Park.
Ya, 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 ya. So kita ada gandingan kat sini, komentator korang, Maichin dan juga Mat Palmer. Dia boleh panggil Mat saja. Mat Palmer ni sangat berpengalaman dalam bidang engineering kereta racing. Sebab dia ni apa, daripada kecil sama dengan ayah dia membina kereta lumba. So korang boleh cedok lah sikit kan apa dia punya pengalaman tu. Dan juga seperti yang korang tahu, Cil pun salah seorang pelumba di alam sebenar. Cil dah subscribe iRacing ni pada awal PKP dulu, tapi tak boleh main sebab problem latency di kawasan Banting ni sangat-sangat teruk. So kita harapkan di masa hadapan tak lama lagi Cil pun dapat join dorang racing. Kau ingat apa aku tengok ni, tak geram ke?
So am I.
Bukan mudah sebab di dalam virtual racing ni anda memerlukan fokus yang tinggi, mata dan penghayatan terhadap game tu perlu sangat tinggi. Dia berbeza jika anda memandu kereta yang betul. Sebab kereta yang betul anda boleh bahagikan sensor-sensor tu di buntut, di kaki, di tangan, di bahu apa semua. Tapi di dalam virtual racing ni kita hanya boleh kita hanya ada feedback daripada, kalau yang gunakan steering mahal mungkin cost feedback daripada steering tu agak real sikit. Dan juga kalau yang pakai pedal yang bagus, yang mahal, kita dapat rasa dia punya load cell tu. Itu antara cabaran-cabaran kepada real racer nak bawa kereta-kereta di dalam sim racing ni.
So like Michael there has alluded to the fact that this virtual racing stuff is incredibly difficult because whilst the physics engine in iRacing is very advanced, there's still quite a bit of difference between the virtual racing and the real racing. And you would think that racing virtually would be easier than racing in real life, but it isn't quite that, because these drivers have to rely almost entirely on their eyes and what they feel through their force feedback steering wheels in order to try and maximize their driving through these winding and very, very high speed corners. Now, normally in a real racing car, a lot of the information comes from the seat of the car and through the pedals as well. So like Maisel was saying there, when the car starts sliding, when it understeers or oversteers, the first part of your body that you really feel is through the back, the small of your back, and through the legs and arms and the general G-force sensations, which these guys unfortunately don't have. Even on a motion simulator, you can't really get the same feeling as you would in a real life car. So they're almost driving with 2 out of the 5 senses disabled. So that's the really tricky part through here. Like trying to get it right over the jump there is going to be very, very difficult when you only have your eyes and your ears to try and hear the tires leave the course and to see how high you jump off that crest. But that is one of the difficulties of virtual racing. But as we can see here, we have 17 of some of the most impressive sim racers in the SRE community going absolutely into it. Big drift entry into there.
Tapi bukan mustahil untuk real racer bawa sim racing ni. Apa yang diperlukan sama juga macam apa yang diorang buat di dalam real racing, dia perlu sitting time yang secukupnya. So kena adapt dia punya apa situasi di dalam sim tu sendiri.
So that mentioned there was also sharing with us that you definitely need to, as Mohammed there just casually running up into the back of Jazzy, I think that was. But like Michael was saying there, it's not impossible to drive in sim racing. In fact, it's quite a leveler. And not only can you compete up against real life drivers and sim racing aliens as well, all you really need to do is just to keep at it. You don't have to spend money on tires, fuel, or wear of components. You just need the seat time to do enough laps and to be open enough to suggestions to try and improve yourself. And one day you'll be as quick as these guys. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah. Main apa ketua nak main sim racing ni jangan berganjak kecuali bini call je, okay?
So make sure you lock your wife in the bedroom and set aside.
Actually, I lock
tick.
myself. Actually, I lock myself. I not lock my wife. I lock myself in my room.
That's probably the better idea, actually, come to think of it. Now we're watching now. Kelvinder Singh has got his car repaired up. Now it's Azri up in the top. Will Azri?
Masa qualify dah habis. Habis. So nampaknya diorang ni waktu qualify ni memang dia orang hentam kau memang terlajak sampai ke rumput lah, ke barrier lah apa semua. So
maximum attack.
Maximum attack. Dan
yes. So there we see the qualifying position. Azri there, 50.1. That's absolutely flying around here. Kelvinder Singh is on the front row along with Arifin, Azam, Nazli, Jali, Mohaimin, and the first of the 51 seconds, Melvin Dajit Singh, followed by who is that there? Muhammad, Hazim, Abdullah, Jafar, Norafuddin, Tarmizi, Junos, Mark Lange, and Lubis.
Yeah, ada masalah rasanya Lubis tu sebab timing dia 58 tu rasanya dia menghabiskan masa di dalam pit rasanya.
Yeah. It looks like both Mark Lange and Yusuf Lubis had some issues there. They're not normally that far off the pace, but hopefully they'll have the cars ready to go for the start of the race. They'll just be beginning to grid up as we speak.
Berapa minit dia punya perlombaan malam ni?
45 minutes.
45 minit. Okay. 45 minit kalau MSF tu dah kira enduro lah. So memang berpeluh lah buntut duduk 40 minit dekat tip sim racing ni.
So just another quick look at the track. We're at the classic configuration of Lime Rock Park in the city of Lakeville, Connecticut in USA.
Macam mana tempat dia
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. Kalau aja ada Connecticut. So sebutan dia Connecticut. Connecticut.
So let's look at the grid real quick. Shami Azri is in first position, followed by Kelvinder Singh on the front row with Saiful Arifin, Ahmad Azam, Azriel Nazli, Jezrin Jali, Muhammad Mohaimin, Malvinder Singh, Shamir Muhammad, and Zainul Hazim, the top 10 positions.
Dan seterusnya di tangga 11 ialah Azman Abdullah diikuti dengan Syahrul Jaafar. Seterusnya diikuti oleh Syahrir Nawafuddin, Tamizi Yusof, Muhammad Jonos, Mark Lange, Yudi Lubis, Ilham Halabi, Hanudul Elizam, Khairul Alang dan juga Shalif Fuzam. Okay, right. Kita akan bermula sebentar saja lagi.
Yeah. And those last three, of course, are part of our broadcast and spectator group. So thanks for them to also to come along with you. And thanks to Khairul for being our director right now. Manning the controls as we get ready for the start. We're just waiting for second place Kelvinder Singh to grid up alongside with Junos.
Okey, di sini kita ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada penaja kita, iaitu Adrenaline Impact, C-Zone dan juga Interformula. Tak lupa kepada penaja Michael yang menaja headphone dan juga seat pada malam ini, iaitu Toda.
Just before we get going, special thanks to Interformula, C-Zone, and my sponsor Toda for supporting us during this event. We also have Pico Racing and SRE Sim Racing
Okey,
Enthusiast. Now
lampu dah menyala.
the five lights are on
Ya,
and
dan
they're off.
bermula sekarang. Siapa yang melalui
Shami
itu?
Azri and Govinda
Azri.
Singh has got a massive jump into the lead, but Shami manages to cover off Govinda Singh.
Apa yang terjadi ke belakang? Apa yang terjadi kat belakang? Kita tengok kat belakang.
Looks like they are now nice and calm through there. Meanwhile, number 25 has gone wide. Kelvin Singh, it's too wide racing through the first three corners here. Very, very narrow track through here. Kelvin Singh now in second position. He's still right on the back. Whilst
Oh, 3 red cars.
there's quite a lot of action happening around through here, but it looks like they've gotten themselves into a nice line at the start here. Look at them go over the jumps, getting sideways over the crest, and now around into the end of the final corner. Diving down from the hill there, that's a drop of over 70 meters as they go on to the Samposi fate for the first time, and the car in the back there just going a little bit wide.
Apa terjadi kepada Sami Aizan di dalam pit sekarang, dan juga Mavinder Singh. Mavinder Singh masih lagi di dalam perlombaan. Kalau kita tengok kat situ, di tempat yang pertama masih lagi Sir Azri diikuti dengan Mavinder Singh dan juga Saiful Arifin. Yang memisahkan masa antara mereka ni hanya 0.23 saat sahaja. Okey, kat situ sengit perebutan tempat pertama di situ. Kevin Derjit Singh memotong Azri, dan juga di situ Saiful Arifin juga menaiki tempat kedua. Jatuh terus tu Sir Azri tu terus jatuh ke tempat ke-6. Efek kat situ padat gila. So sekarang terkeluar. Siapa terkeluar tadi tu? Kereta warna merah. Jali terkeluar tadi. So masuk balik ke dalam track. Dan masa terbatas sekarang ni dilakukan oleh Yudi Lubis. 51 saat. Battle for first masih lagi sengit di antara Kevin Derjit Singh dan juga Saiful Arifin. Saiful Arifin menanti dengan penuh sabar peluang untuk mendekati Kelvin Singh. Ada dua Singh kat sini malam ni. So maafkan kalau tertukar ya. Yang penting kapal Singh tak ada malam ni. Okey, saya menemukan Mark Palmer. Mana Mark Palmer? Wow, sideways. Siapa sideways tu? Saiful Arifin sideways ke bukan? Banyaknya kereta warna merah. Muhammad Muhaimin di tangga yang ke-6 menggunakan livery Red Bull bernomor 17 di belakang Hazim. Saya menantikan Mat. Mana kau Mat? Kau tinggalkan aku seorang Mat. Komen apa aku nak cakap ni Mat. Okey, on board di dalam kereta Saiful Arifin sekarang ni yang sedang mengejar Kevin Derjit Singh. Nampaknya mereka telah berjaya menghampiri back markers. Apa back markers tu?
Ada back marker dah Cil. Back marker dia kalau kau nak tengok kan. Kau tengok kat dalam tu board tu atas tu, yang dia berpotong Muhammad siapa? Syami Aizan. Dia back marker. Apa dah jadi?
Menghadapi masalah, mungkinkah dry shaft dia tercabut ataupun mungkin pistonnya terkeluar, kita tak tahu. Mari kita interview mereka selepas ini nanti. Tak apa, masih lagi di dalam onboard Saiful Arifin ya. Nampaknya dia menjaga tire wear dia sekarang ni. Nampak beliau adalah seorang racer yang berpengalaman dan dia tahu macam mana game ni punya permainan. So kita boleh tengok racecraft mereka ni sangat-sangat padu mereka ni, walaupun mereka sim racer tapi diorang punya mindset tu sama je macam racer real racer. Kita tak boleh pandang rendah kat mereka ni. sebab dengan pengalaman dan sitting time yang lama, dia orang boleh set up kereta daripada tak best dan menjadi best bawah. So korang jangan ingat korang racer sebenar, korang boleh bawa kereta kau berpusing. Itu bila tayar wear dah tinggi, tayar temp dah tinggi, itulah yang akan jadi. So korang kena man-man, korang kena attack, tapi
Pressure tinggi sangat ke Jil?
apa?
Pressure tire pressure tinggi sangat ke tu?
Mungkin boleh jadi, ataupun sebab kereta ni pun sangat liar, 600 horsepower. Dia memang bila-bila masa je boleh spun. So kawalan throttle tu sangat penting. So kita di dalam kereta Azman Abdullah sekarang, nampaknya dia relax saja, relax, cool, maintain condition. Sebab dalam masa 45 minit ni macam-macam benda boleh jadi. So Lang, apa yang terjadi? Yang color biru ni maknanya apa Lang?
Biru
Dia dah
maknanya
di
dia dah kena lap.
Dah kena lap kan?
Kalau merah
Maruah.
nanti dia satu lap ke hadapan.
Okey,
Kita tengok fight battle nombor 1.
Oh, mana memang padu gila lah yang leading sekarang ni. Dia dah lap berapa orang tu? Dia dah lap dalam 11 orang.
Ya. Track pendek. So memang dia dalam berapa lap dia dah 7-8 lap dah. Dah memang dah jumpa back marker lah. Tadi kan jumpa Matthew Palmer dah hilang ni. Aku kena ganti dia sekejap lah.
Hang on. Can you hear me?
Okey. Datang. Metal Palmer. Buat apa? Buat kopi ke?
It appeared that Maisel Hafiz couldn't hear me there for a second there, even though I was still on there trying to talk.
Okay,
So
maaf.
now I think we're back on board with Kalvinder Singh, who managed to have a particularly rough and ready move on the first lap, but now Saiful Arifin, the quickest man on track right now, or he was the quickest man during qualifying, now pushing very, very hard to try and get past Kalvinder Singh. With Azra Nasri in third and Azri in fourth position. Azri was on the front row of the grid, but unfortunately got into the first lap accident. Meanwhile, we go on board with Ilham Halabi in the Tony Longhurst Ilham Halabi chasing the Tony Longhurst livery Castrol Ford in front of him, and it's all happening up and down the grid. The biggest gap we see there is a 7-second gap. Everyone is pretty much within a second of everyone else, apart from the first two who are gapping the field right now, but still pushing very, very hard with each other.
Rasap mak So tu masuk pit tak jumpa pit tu terlanggar berdinding. Macam-macam berdinding.
Yep, a missed entry for the pit lane there. That's a lot of damage it looked like.
Sebab pit entry dia sangat kecil kan. Dia corner terus masuk ke sana kan.
Yeah. So the guys have to really watch their braking for the pit entry, because the pit entry is very small around here. Lime Rock, not a very big pit circuit. Definitely one that's mostly used for IMSA racing and the odd stock car race in the smaller categories. Meanwhile, we watch Zainul Hazim and the Castrol Ford looking back on Halabi. Looks like this battle is going to go all the way to the end. There's only 0.3 of a second between them. So Halabi now will be trying to set up that pass onto the San Posi straight. He's having get out of the slipstream to have a look. Perhaps it's just intimidation for now, but fairly soon he'll be in the position to go past. Meanwhile, Yudi Lubes has a little bit of damage there as two cars go off the track.
What happened?
It looks like they've gone into a door-to-door contact. Very, very tricky braking zone into turn 1 here, so I don't think there's any malice on the part of the drivers, but it is very, very bumpy and very tricky to get into the big bend at the end of the San Posi straight there, and it can be very, very difficult indeed. You also have this jump here, which nowadays is bypassed by that chicane to try and make the track just a little bit safer, but this is the classic layout, the full speedboat experience as we go on board with Yuri Lubis chasing Tunizi.
Yudi Lubis rapat. Oh, terlajak sikit keluar kat situ. Berpusing kat situ. Tamizi Yusof berpusing dan jatuh position di belakang Yubis sekarang.
Yeah, it looks like Yuri has maybe a little bit of a problem there. They had a slight contact or overspeed coming into the first corner. That's unfortunately muted the challenge for both of them. Meanwhile, Saiful Arifin is now going to challenge for the lead. He's managed to bring the gap down to 0.3 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that is less than a blink of the eye, and it's getting closer as laps wear down.
Okey, kalau anda tengok kebanyakan racer sekarang ni dah nampak macam dah tak boleh kawal kereta. Sebab itu adalah efek daripada tyre wear. So memang kena jaga tyre wear dihidupkan buat ni. So macam racing yang sebenar kan tu. Maknanya bukan kau boleh hantam 80 lap sama macam lap pertama. Tak, dia akan beza from lap to lap. Tengok macam mana anda semua bawa lah. Kalau lead braking, lock apa semua, habislah tayar tak lama kan. So memang kena laju tapi kena gentle.
Yeah, as Matilda speaking from experience, you have to look after the tires. The tire wear is on for this race, so if these guys are pushing their big, heavy 1500 kilo beasts around too much, they'll wear the tires out. If you keep locking them up or sliding the car around too much, they'll end up with no grip at the end of the race when you really need it the most. So they have to keep the cars in good condition, especially looking after the tires. But it looks like Halabi has managed to get past Hazim. That has been a battle going on for the last 5 laps, but finally they've managed to get past. Halabi up there in
Sabar Sabar dia bawa sampai dia dapat peluang, dia boleh potong dah. Itu racecraft lah orang kata.
So he really waited, bided his time, and made sure that he picked the right opportunity, not only to get past, but to make sure he got past with enough pace left in the car to try and pull away. So now Halabi will be looking forward to try and catch up with Azri. It's a very big ask, as you can see the entire length of the straight there between Hazim and the back marker of Lange, with Muhammad ahead of him, so there is about 8 seconds for him to try and catch up, and Zainal Hazim still has a chance to try and counter-attack if he can keep his tyres alive.
Apa yang Halabi buat terhadap Hazim tadi ni, dia pressure Hazim sampai Hazim buat mistake, sampai tyre dia hit apa semua, dan dia dapat memotong dengan senang lepas tu. So
as we see, Norafuddin there just now had a bit of a problem with the car. He's going to have to go in and take a quick repair. Even though it's called a quick repair, it's going to take him a lot longer to try and catch back up and regain the position he had. Anytime you go into the pits here in iRacing is a lot of time lost.
Betul, masuk pit confirm 3 lap tinggal kan.
Meanwhile, we go on board with Hanazul Elizam as we go past through the field there. Kelvinderjit Singh has now started to pull away from Saiful Arifin. Perhaps Saiful is pushing his tyres just a hair harder than usual, but there is also a case to be made for backing off at this point to try and save the tyres a little bit and try and let the race come to you instead of trying to push the point, get past him and wear out your tyres in the process. So there's a little bit of mind games going on, I believe, at the head of the field there, but Kelvinder Singh has a little bit of a gap now to Saiful Arifin, but it won't be there for too long.
Boleh saya katakan di kelompok pendahulu liga ni, perlumbaan mereka ni bertaraf dunia sebenarnya. Kalau tengok dia punya game, macam mana dia kekalkan dia punya momentum semua dengan timing ni, perlumbaan ni adalah bertaraf dunia. Mereka memang racer-racer bertaraf dunia. Kalau kita tengok dia orang punya biografi pun, mereka sering berlumba dengan di dalam perlumbaan luar, di dalam iRacing ni, dan selalu juga mendapat tempat podium. Mereka yang top 3 semua ni.
So Kelvinder Singh Saiful Arifin and Azran Nazli really are world-class drivers when it comes to iRacing. They have lots of experience competing not only on locally hosted races but also internationally hosted races as well, and quite a lot of podiums in their back catalogue. So this is definitely the best of the best competing here, right here on the Adrenaline Impact Challenge Invitational race. As you can see there, Ilham Halabi, no slow driver himself. He's about a second behind from Zainal Hazim. He'll be biding his time, waiting for an opportunity to strike once again. Big sideways moment there from Zainal Hazim. That has dropped the gap down massively.
Hazim
8 tenths
dapat
lost.
balik
8 tenths lost just on that mistake. He got the car a little bit too sideways over the jump, and now Halabi will be setting up for a pass for Hazim. Will be looking to try and maximize the slipstream. Will he be able to do it this time? Not right now, but he'll be trying to set up fairly soon for the next lap. Meanwhile, Hazim has locked up his tires. That's another mistake, which is going to bring Halabi ever closer. And as you can see, Halabi's definitely got his tire temperatures under control, whereas Hazim looks like he's overheated the tires a little bit on the last lap, trying to run away. They are neck and neck. 1.2 seconds only separate between them two, so they make sure they get over the jump. They're going to be setting up for a pass at the end of the main straight into turn 1.
Ya, kita masih menunggu lagi aksi macam real V8 Supercars, bumper to bumper yang hanya dipisahkan oleh 1 mm. Kita tak dapat tengok lagi ni fight yang macam tu. Setakat sekarang ni masih lagi dijarakkan oleh 1 atau 2 biji kereta. Saya menantikan saat-saat tu kalau ada.
Yeah. So like you say there, the big pack racing. I feel it's coming very soon. No! Hazim spun. Hazim spun. He's overheated the tires.
Ya. Dan Halabi menjarakkan diri dengan senang hati di situ.
So Halabi now will have his sights set on Azri Nazli. Azri. So Halabi will be chasing up with Azri 5 seconds ahead. Meanwhile, Lubiz has now gotten back past alongside Abdullah, Mohaimin, Hazim, and Nizam, Tarmizi.
Kalau tengok timing, Arifin sedang merapatkan jarak terhadap Kevin Denisi.
Yeah, it looks like Saiful Arifin, like I said, he's backed off a little bit, given himself 2 or 3 laps in clean air, cooled the tires down a bit. Now he's going to go for another attack on Kelvinder Singh. Kelvinder's going to be very careful there. Arifin throws the car sideways to try and get some extra speed in there, but he's lost a bit of momentum. He's going to have to gain that back again. It's very, very hard to try and catch someone around here simply because there's only one big braking zone that you can outbrake someone into. And it really is a case of trying to maintain your momentum. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these aren't momentum cars, these are point-shoot cars, so this is one hell of a hard race to try and win.
Sekarang kita berada di onboard Nuzul Elizam yang berada di kelompok kalau boleh kata kelompok yang ketiga atau kelompok yang keempat yang sedang berebut tangga yang ke-7 antara Abdullah, Mohaimin dan juga Hazim. Depan ni Hazim Hazim yang tadi tengah fight dengan Yudi Lubis dengan Halabi tadi. Sekarang tengah fight dengan mereka. So break lock berasap-rasap kat situ.
So we have a 4-car battle right now between Lubis, Mohaimin, Hazim and Elizam. They are constantly changing positions. It's a real car park there, and I think we've had one car off. That's Lubis. Lubis has been pitched into a spin yet again. Now it's just 3 cars there. Big bunch through there. The traffic is not helping Elizam and Hazim too much, but they managed to get past. Right now there's going to be a lot of traffic on the track, especially for the leaders, because the leaders, the first and second position, have managed to lap the entire field. So as you can see on the left hand side, we've got the timing screen up there, and the cars in red are the cars 1 lap ahead of the current battle, and the names in blue are the cars that are behind a lap. So that is an amazing little scene there. Singh and Arifin off into the lead, but meanwhile Elizam, Hazim and Yusuf are very close together.
Uh.
Oh,
Baru
big
take
spin.
big spin daripada Safalizam rasanya. Safalizam, oh bukan.
That was just getting the car a little bit crossed up coming into the braking zone. Very, very easy to do in these cars, and once the rear end starts going around, that's it. So we'll see there, Singh, Arifin, Nazli, and Halabi are the only cars in the lead
Oh.
lap, I believe.
Yo, dikacau oleh back markers kat situ. Confirm back markers
Oh.
boleh kena maki. Siapa back markers tu? Jom kita tengok.
I think that was Yunus.
Okay, alright.
I believe that must be Yunus, who's the back marker there. That was very, very unfortunate for Arifin because he was getting closer and closer to Kelvinder Singh, and now he's got a massive battle to try and catch up again ahead.
Around almost 4 seconds behind Kevin Singh now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we go with Charmizi Yusuf, who's got a little bit of bodywork damage, but he's going to try as hard as he can. Big sideways moment from over the jump over there. Charmizi Yusuf running in the Adrenaline Impact liveries, very reminiscent of the HDT colours. And it's got another whole school colour there right behind him, the Castro Racing Tony Longhurst colours. And that's Hazim there trying to catch up and overtake him. They're coming up to some traffic here. This is going to be very, very exciting stuff coming through here.
Okay, nampak di situ Saiful Arifin masuk ke dalam pit sekarang. Adakah strategi di minit yang ke-21 ini akan merubah sesuatu? Baki perubahan masih lagi berbaki lebih kurang berapa minit? 23 minit lagi. So kira half lah sekarang ni.
So the guys are now in the pit window, and Saiful Arifin has now gone into the pits for fuel, and he will try and get out with the minimum amount of fuel required to try and finish the race, try and keep that fuel stop short. The rest of these guys will also have to start thinking about fuel stops, and there's really only two viable strategies right now, which is to try and pit the halfway mark and try and maintain the same pace they had in the first half of the race to the second half, or they're going to try and go long for their first stint and fuel up near the end, put a whole bunch of fuel in it and push like hell to try and catch up back to the leaders. So this is going to be another interesting dimension to the race, and now I believe he is back out in 10th position. But remember, he's the only one who's pitted, so there's quite a lot of drivers up ahead. Looks like Singh and Nazli might have a chance of getting back out ahead of him, but Saiful Arifin may have had a bit of a masterstroke there.
Bumper now antara Hazim dan juga Tamizi Yusof. Betul?
Yeah.
Yo, memang tengah fight ni. Lock daripada Tamizi memberi peluang kepada Hazim. Ya, dan Hazim sekarang meninggalkan Tamizi dengan jayanya di situ.
And it looks like Hazim managed a fantastic pressure overtake on Tamizi, just pushing him as hard as he can into the braking zone. Tamizi made a mistake, and Hazim managed to get advantage of that. Anazul Nizam there, just a little bit of a lag spike, which is very strange considering he's driving the Nvidia sponsored car. Perhaps iRacing has another deal with AMD. Not too sure.
Maybe.
So now we have Kelvinder Singh and Azri have both gone into the pits.
Ya. Dan
Now,
sekali lagi diingatkan kepada semua penonton, mereka memandu Gentle V8 Supercars yang berkapasiti berapa liter mak?
The Chevrolets have a 6.2 litre pushrod V8, whilst the Fords have a higher revving 5 litre V8. Remarkably, they produce under the regulations the same amount of horsepower and torque.
Okey, maknanya dengan 600 horsepower memang gila-gila tricky untuk memandu, difficult, memang susah untuk memandu kereta 600 horsepower ni dengan differential lock 100%, accelerate and juga decelerate kan. So macam mana dia orang bawa ni?
Yeah, it's very, very tricky indeed. As we see, Samuel there just sliding the car in. Zainul Hasdin has done a fantastic job to get up to 4th position, but it looks like Nazli is now in the pits along with Elizam Yusuf and Jevin Jali. So right now I believe Halabi and Muhaimin have yet to pit, and it looks like Kelvinder has managed to get out of the pits, and he is basically in the lead. Halabi and Muhaimin have still yet to pit, so he may have come out on top in the pit stop stakes. Yes, he is very far ahead in terms of traffic from Nazli, Elizam and Azri, so it looks like Kelvinder Singh has managed to gain a load of time through the pit stops.
Okay, kalau kita tengok kat situ, kenapa siapa tu? Set Arifin ada 2 kali stop
Saiful Arifin, he may have had some trouble. That's perhaps
Full
why
course
he's
yellow.
got to.
Full course yellow.
Oh, now full course yellow. Apa sudah jadi?
So we've
Apa
had quite a
sudah
few accidents throughout the field. So the organisers have decided to throw a full course yellow.
So
We've
full
had
course
accidents.
yellow, bila full course yellow, mereka perlu memperlahankan kenderaan. Tak boleh melebihi 80 km sejam kalau tak salah saya. 10 saat selepas full course yellow dikibarkan.
Okey,
kita
Cik.
tengok ada yang laju kat situ.
Ada satu yang perkara yang menarik sikit full course yellow ni didatangi dengan lucky dog. Lucky
Alright.
dog means dia siapa yang kena lap boleh overtake kan?
Unlap. Boleh unlap.
Ah.
So they go back
Oh.
onto the lead lap. So basically,
Okay,
we're now
okay.
under full course yellow conditions. The cars will have to follow around at a certain set speed. They'll try and catch up with the cars in front and then drive at 80 kilometers an hour. They'll reform behind the lead driver and get ready for the restart. This is so that the track marshals and everything can get themselves organized again. We've had quite a few incidents, so this is a nice little regroup and restart to get going again. Now, this
Okay.
comes with the lucky dog rule, which means the first person who's a lap down gets the lucky dog. He can overtake everyone and go back onto the lead lap.
Okey, maknanya dia nak bagi apa? Perluan ni meriah balik lah, tak adalah jaga sangatnya.
Yeah.
Okey, aku tak pernah lalui macam ni punya full course yellow. Ni kira apa? Pengetahuan baru jugalah.
So the pit lane will be open. All the guys will be coming in for their pit stops. This is almost like a free pit stop for them because they won't be losing too much time compared to the leaders. When they come out of the pits, they'll be able to join back up to the head of the queue. Meanwhile, I believe Jafar will be the man who gets the... Oh, sorry, Junos. Junos will, by our calculations, be the first person to get the lucky dog and go around and gain an extra lap to go back on to the same lap as the leaders.
So, waktu ni sekarang dia orang tak boleh memotong, tapi dia orang kena dia orang boleh. Oh, aku tak faham lagi. Cuba
Dia
cuba
boleh
terangkan
potong
sikit.
orang yang dah lap dia.
Okey, maknanya dia boleh duduk di tempat yang pertama lah nanti.
Tak, dia boleh susun balik dia punya position macam tak ada lap yang berlaku lah, tak ada overlap yang berlaku lah.
Okey,
Maknanya
faham,
kalau
faham,
dia dah tertinggal satu lap, dia boleh selagi depan
Join
dia
balik.
tu bukan yang betul-betul position depan dia, dia boleh potong lah.
Okey, tapi kalau dia di tempat yang ke-18, dia still di tempat ke-18 lah juga
Okey,
kan?
18 depan dia kereta nombor 17, dia tak boleh potong lah.
Okey. Kalau dia potong
Dia potong kena penalty lah.
ataupun dia automatik, dia tahu ke kereta depan di mana-mana
Boleh
sekarang?
tahu, dia tahu sebab dia memang ada dia punya
Ada message. Ada
Okey,
dia punya
actually,
sistem.
dia
So
punya
base-
regulation ni bukan single file lah, double file ni.
Hmm.
Diorang main single
Dia
file.
punya dia akan buat restart. So when the restart happens, there will be an overlay on the screen for the drivers to look at. It'll be race direction, which will tell them which cars to follow. And if it is a double file start, they will tell them which side of the road to go and following which driver. So everybody should know exactly where they have to be when it's time for the restart and when it's time for the lights on the cars to go off and go racing again.
I think the full course yellow is 2 laps with 1 plus 1 to green.
Yes.
So total I think 3 laps.
Yes. So basically that's just the amount of laps required to pull off the pit stops, the lucky dog, and have 1 lap to green so that they can all resume their positions again. So as we can see, the lucky dog's going past. I think actually there's a few drivers who've got the lucky dog.
What happened to Syam?
Syaril Al-Fudin.
Al-Fudin looks like he's managed to, because all these drivers will be on and off the brakes trying to warm up, and it looks like he's just made a bit of a mistake there and he's gone off the road. That's very, very unfortunate to do that during a full course yellow.
What happened? Pingu, kau drift buat apa? Buat drift kat situ?
But the tire temperatures will now be cooling off. They'll be desperate to get going racing again and build some tire temperature back up again.
There's Syaril. He's being the lucky dog.
Yeah.
Dia anjing bertuah lah. So apa yang dia buat tu? Masuk pit ke apa?
Okay.
So now
dan
we have
bendera hijau dikibarkan, teman akan disambung kembali. Ya, menunjukkan turn 1 masing-masing. Tengok, mari apa yang terjadi.
There's a big spin out on the back. There's a big spin out on the back there, and Halabi now in the lead. But Kelvinder Singh is right behind him. All sorts of action going up and down the field, but we only have one spinner at the first corner, so that has managed to be a fairly clean restart. Zainal Hazim is now in 3rd position, but Halabi is now really trying hard to keep Singh behind him. It looks like Singh will be trying desperately to get past Halabi into clean air and try and gap the field again. But it's an absolutely fantastic restart from Halabi and Singh.
Yeah.
They're now coming onto the start-finish straight. Kelvinder will now try and take advantage of Halabi's cool brakes and cool tyres. He'll be in the slipstream there, trying to pressure Halabi into a mistake, but it looks like Kelvinder just gone a little bit wide through there. He'll have to take another lap to try and get a run on the Samposi straight into the Big Bend. Meanwhile, Hazim is in 3rd position, Abdullah 4th, Muhaimin 5th, Azri 6th, Nazli 7th, Ilizam 8th, and Lubis in 9th position. Jazrin Jali now going back into the pits for more repairs. Tamizi Yusuf also in the pits, and Noor Fudin as well to try and repair some of the damage that he's unfortunately suffered during the full course yellow. I'm not too sure if someone hit him or if he just spun on cold tires. It's very easy to do in these 600 horsepower cars, but it's very unfortunate.
Syamil Azan Muhammad Hanafiah sekarang berlumba tanpa bonet hadapan. Mungkin dia memerlukan cooling yang lebih baik daripada udara di luar sana tu.
Yeah. It looks like Samir is in there trying to get a bit more cooling, but I think that might be a clue as to why they had 2 cars off the road during the full course yellow. Meanwhile, there's another car that's gone off through turn 1. Big lockups right now. The temperature in the tyres would now be absolutely stone cold. It'll take 2 or 3 laps before they warm up again, so they have to be very, very careful. Meanwhile, we have Azam Hanafiah. He's trying to catch up with Mark Lange, who's right behind Tarmizi.
So ada disadvantage bila bumper dah koyak, bonnet hilang, aerodynamic akan effect, dan dia akan effect pada straight line. So kereta grip akan kurang. So bila anda enter the corner nanti, dia akan sedikit sketchy kat situ kan.
So no, these cars are very, very finely tuned aerodynamically. They don't have a lot of downforce. They only have around about 200 to 250 kilos of downforce, which is not a lot, all things considering. And so if there's any damage to the car, like we saw there with the bonnet missing, not only do you have a straight line speed problem with lots and lots of drag, but also you have a lack of downforce at the front end, which he'll have to adjust his driving style to try and counteract. big jump there for Arsu Nasli. He landed on the grass. He's managed to save it. Now he's trying to catch up with Azri, and it looks to be a very close battle there. 0.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Halabi has managed to gain quite a bit of time on Singh. He was a tenth faster in the last lap, and in fact, he is 1.8 seconds ahead. But meanwhile, the closest battle here is between Azri and Nazli, and two of them are catching Abdullah at quite a hell of a rate. 51.6 seconds. They are now going as fast as the leaders, chasing up into a massive group of cars there. They're going to be really careful.
Group ni. Kau ramai. Macam mana dia nak pass ni? Itulah racecraft yang diperlukan sekarang ni untuk pass one by one. Sebab semua mereka ni adalah pelumba. Dia orang takkan bagi korang pass dia orang senang je kan?
Yeah. So these guys, the real racers, they're not going to make any overtaking moves. They're not going to make it easy for you to try and overtake. But when you're battling in these big groups, what it takes is a little bit of patience and coolness and calmness under pressure. You've got to be calm under pressure. And we see that one car, big accident there.
Kereta tu tak buat salah pun, tapi dia hentam kereta tu.
Elizabeth Hyman, one of them got onto the grass, and on the grass you have no grip. So when he hit the brakes on the grass, that was it.
Oh, Azri ditolak. Ditolak oleh siapa kat situ? Ditolak oleh
Abdullah, I believe.
Yeah. Oh.
So that was very unfortunate for Azri, it's the second time he's been pushed out of the way here. But in these big touring cars, rubbing is racing. So we've got to be a little bit careful when there's a driver directly behind him. They've got to make sure that they're not within striking range, and they have to make sure that in the braking zones they're not going to get hit up the rear end.
Kadang-kadang bukan mereka bukan melanggar dengan niat. Sebenarnya kereta ni macam-macam boleh terjadi sekarang. Kereta ni bila tengah corner, bila anda terlebih sikit minyak, dia easily to spun dengan tire temp dan naik semua ni kan. So mereka bukan sengaja kadang-kadang tu. Memang dia ialah racing incident.
Now we watch on board Azri Nazli as we see Abdullah. He's struggling through the corners right now. You can see the cars understeering and oversteering. The effects are quite visual. As you can see, he's understeering very badly coming up to the jump, and it looks like Azri Nazli has the car a little bit better composed, but look at that. I believe Abdullah might be overworking the tires just a little bit.
Azri Nazli ni adalah seorang pelumba berpengalaman. So selalunya beliau ada strategi beliau tersendiri. Kita akan tengok dia cuba merapatkan kedudukan antara dia dan Abdullah sekarang ni. Mungkin dia punya percaturan di dalam kepala dia tu. So dia diikuti rapat oleh Elizam dan juga Hazim kat belakang tu. Jaga-jaga mereka boleh buat macam-macam perkara juga.
So Abdullah, Nazli, Elizam, Hazim, very, very close together in racing terms. These two cars, it definitely looks like Abdullah's car has less grip than Nazli. Nazli has been looking after the tires just a little bit better, so he will be looking to try and use the latter part of the race to try and overhaul Abdullah and try and catch up with the leading two. These two drivers will be pushing as hard as they can to try and keep that third place, because it's a race for millions, but get podium position here on the Adrenaline Impact Invitational will
Nazri dah cuba merapatkan kedudukan. Tengok dah rapat dah dengan Abdullah sekarang ni. So mak boleh sama balik.
Yeah. So in any case, these guys are going to be pushing as hard as they can to try and get that podium position, but Abdullah looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. He's pushing the car very, very hard. Big understeer. They're very, very close. Will they overtake on this lap?
Mari kita saksikan. Tengok rapat bumper to bumper.
Going back on into the final lap. They're very close.
Whoa. Langgar sikit.
So Nazri and Abdullah. Nazri's got a better drive through the corner. It's a drag race in the first turn.
Abdullah di dalam. Adakah Abdullah akan memberikan ruang? Abdullah lock kat situ. Okey, Azri mengambil luar. Masih
Abdullah
lagi.
ni nanya Azman rasanya nama dia. Dia otai lah, dia dalam sim racing ni dia Sim R lah.
Sim R Azman. Okey.
Bos Sim R kan rasanya kan, Jil?
Dua-dua ni otai akhirnya ya. So patutlah memang macam tak nak lepas pun. Tak nak lepas corner tu. So otai dengan otai berlumba, Abdullah dapat menjarakkan sikit sekarang, tapi masih lagi diikuti rapat oleh Nazli.
So will Nazli get another shot at it? But big whack on the curbs there. He's pushing as hard as he can to try and catch up with Abdullah. Two very, very experienced drivers. Racing Nazli on the grass trying to catch up, but unfortunately he's lost a bit of time there. But up ahead is going to be some traffic.
Apa yang terjadi kepada kepada Nur Afuddin? Mari kita tengok Nur Afuddin, apa sedang terjadi kepada kereta beliau sekarang ni. Okey, ditaja oleh Petronas dan juga Puma. Mungkin mendapat sedikit bajet daripada Hamilton.
But he had a bit of an accident during the full course yellow. Very puzzling indeed. But right now he is a lap down and is going to be lapped by Abdullah and Nazli, so that he has got to be very, very careful now. Looks like the car is a bit squirrely. Might still have a little bit of damage that the crews can't quite fix. So this is going to play into the battle behind with Abdullah and Nazli.
Ui, kena. Okay. Jom kita tengok sekarang real racer kita, Syamil Aizan pula.
Ni Azri.
Syamil Azri right now.
Syamil Aizan
Ya, kita tengok Syamil Aizan. Mari kita lihat.
Dia jumpa kawan dia.
So Syamil Aizan sekarang di kedudukan yang ke-14, masih lagi meneruskan perlombaan. Masih lagi kereta dia masih lagi bumper semua ada, fender semua ada lagi. Tak ada masalah, maknanya dia
terbang.
Tak ada
He's on the grass there. He's managed to escape it.
First time aku rasa dia install iRacing ni kan, Cil?
Rasa dia dah main, dia start main. Tapi ni first perlombaan dia rasanya.
New race lah. Okay, kita pergi ke Azri Nazli balik.
So Azri Nazli now definitely pushing very hard to try and get past Abdullah. As we saw there with the traffic, they've definitely got bunched up again. Now this is the difficulty with traffic. It's your ability to get past lap traffic is going to be crucial around here. It's a very short lap, so you're going to encounter quite a bit of lap traffic, and that could play into these battles. You can see that Abdullah really jumped the car, Azman Abdullah there. It's all getting a bit wild and ragged between third and fourth position. They desperately want to be in that final podium position. We've only got 2 minutes left in the race. We've got a maximum of 3 laps left.
Wow, sedar tak sedar dah nak habis race dah.
Yeah.
Macam baru je, tapi sebenarnya dah lama sebenarnya. Sampai aku pun sebenarnya dah ni waktu tidur ni sebenarnya. Tapi kita ada 2 minit lagi. Jom sama-sama kita tunggu sampai ke penghabisan. Siapakah pemenang? Adakah Halabi? Adakah Kavinder Singh? Adakah Abdullah? Adakah Nazli? Dalam masa 2 minit ni macam-macam perkara boleh berlaku.
So right now Halabi is in the lead, a full 13 seconds ahead of Kavinder Singh. He's managed to play the strategy game absolutely perfectly, and he's used the lap traffic to try and put a nice big gap between him and Singh, two very, very experienced, very quick drivers. It looks like if Halabi can keep the nose of the car clean and keep the car in front, he's on for the win of the race, but that is not a definite guarantee. The race only finishes at the end of the final lap. Meanwhile, Azri Nazli is pushing very, very hard to try and get past Abdullah. He knows time is running out. There is now only 1 minute left. 1 minute left. So this looks like it's either going to end on this lap or the next lap. So Azri Nazli is going to push as hard as he can to try and get past.
Lap penentuan. Di antara banyak lap tadi, ini adalah lap penentuan. Siapakah, adakah Azri Nazli dapat merampas tempat ketiga daripada Abdullah atau tidak? Ini adalah lap penentuan. So okey, belum lap penentuan lagi. Sekarang baru lap penentuan.
We will.
Okay, ada back markers dekat situ.
Yes, this is going to be very, very crucial to see.
Yeah, very hard for Nazli kerana uh, sedang dihalang oleh back marker dan dah lepas sekarang. Okay, last lap. Macam
Looks
mana
like
aksi
this-
dia?
It looks like Halabi will try and maintain his position in the lead. We have now clicked over to 45 minutes. This will be the final lap of the race, as Ranazli now has lost quite a bit of time to Abdullah. Now we'll have a look at the leaders as they're about to cross the line. Halabi has just started his final lap. Just about mistimed that ever so slightly, so he'll have to do one more lap. Sometimes in these endurance races or these timed races, you want to make sure you do one less lap than you absolutely have to, but that won't be a problem for Ilham Halabi, who is comfortably in the lead right now, 15 seconds. He's only got 3 corners left to go through.
Ya,
Down
harap
the
jangan
dip.
pergi habis ya.
And now Kelvinder Singh in second position there, but it looks like Halabi will be heading across the line and wins the
Yeah.
Adrenaline Impact Invitational V8 Challenge here at Lime Rock Park.
Tahniah kepada Halabi yang mendapat tempat yang pertama di dalam perumahan V8 Supercars Adrenaline Impact di Lime Rock Park, Amerika.
And Kelvinder Singh a very deserved second place despite having some damage on his car, and it looks like Azman Abdullah will get third position.
Ya. Mereka setelah habis mereka akan berbaris. Ini adalah upacara yang ditunggu-tunggu oleh semua pelumba-pelumba.
So now that the race is over, the post-race celebrations have begun. They're now going to line up for the traditional group photo at the end of the main straight here, the San Francisco Street into the Big Bang.
Dah ada tak sabar dah tu, dah berpusing nombor 20, siapa nombor 20 ni?
Yeah. And after that, they're going to let their hair loose with a whole bunch of donuts for you guys. But now here's the race results. Ilham Halabi has won by 14.6 seconds from Kelvinder Singh, with Azman Abdullah a further 23 seconds behind, followed by Azrael Nazli, Shami Azri, Yudi Lubis, Hanazul Elizam, Ahmad Azam, Muhammad Muhaimin, Zainul Hazim, with Jazbrin Jali, Tamizi Yusuf, Junos, Balvinderjit Singh, Mark Lange, Samir Muhammad, Sharul Jafar and Saiful Arifin.
Mana aku punya ni rival ni, Pingu. Pingu nombor 19. Dia ikuti oleh Salif Fuzam juga Khairul Alang. Khairul Alang dia sebagai pemerhati dia kan.
Yeah.
Okey, sekarang mereka akan melakukan sesi fotografi. Mereka akan mengambil gambar bersama. Aimin ada kat situ tu, dia tengah ambil gambar. So tu nampak flash kat situ kan.
Yep.
So sekarang drone akan mula mengambil footage. Mereka akan melakukan apa belum lagi. Jom kita tengok apa yang akan berlaku. Dia tengah fikir ni kat Discord.
So now they'll be on the Discord server trying to get the photos, and then after that it's the celebrations. The big donut fest, as you can see. They're off.
Sekarang dia mulakan Nemesis Derby.
Yeah.
Boleh masuk. Boleh tembus kereta.
Yeah,
Okay,
a little bit of ghosting there for the winner, who's
Hilang.
decided to run away with the car while the car is still working. Absolute carnage and demolition there as we wait for. That's
Ambil apa? Ambil side tu.
yeah.
Masuk
So
ada
just-
tu.
This is one thing you won't see at the end of a real race, because luckily these guys haven't paid for the cars, so they're gonna let off some steam at the end of what has been a very stressful and exciting race.
Boom.
And in the
Okay.
meantime,
Dan
And then in the
habis
meantime,
tu.
we are just going to.
Something went wrong.
All right. Special thanks to thanks to our director and to myself, myself, Max Palmer.
Yeah,
See you
thanks
later.
to
Ta-ra.
Inter Formula also. See you again for the next race. Maybe for that time I will join. Maybe if my internet connection okay.
All right. See you later, guys. Thank you and good night.
All right. Bye bye.